The MrBeast Empire is growing, and I want to talk through a few big things that are coming up for some of the companies within that holding company. This is the MrBeast Empire as it stands right now. I essentially broke it into four different categories, right? We have our media arm, creators arm, consumer arm, and the services arm. And I want to talk a little bit about both what's included in them as well as why would he have it. So, first and foremost, obviously, the easiest one is your media arm, which consists of his primary channel, his secondary channels, right, like gaming, philanthropy channels, and of course the Biz games, so that are about to enter season 2 on Amazon Prime. The big focus here is obviously the distribution, right? So this is the arm that essentially drives the eyeballs towards everything else that this empire does, right? And there's no new products, services, there are no new opportunities and new brand partnerships if this arm is not performing well. And this is where you can even see to this day, Jimmy is being very self-critical. I think maybe a week or two ago, as of recording of this video, he posted that he actually felt that some of the videos this year were not as good as he hoped they would, and he wants to step it up even further in 2026, whatever that may be. And primary, that makes total sense in the world, because the only way he can continue kind of to grow every other branch over here, at least at the current stage, I'm going to talk about what the future may hold, he needs the media arm, and he needs the media arm to perform. Once media arm kind of like start growing and achieve the scale that it is at today, you started to see this creator arm slowly kind of like, show up here and there. Primary through the view stats. I think this was a great example. There are some articles out there that suggest that view stats makes close to $100 million in recurring revenue right now. Again, not confirmed numbers. If this is the amount, it's actually quite impressive. But they also started to add a few other things. Dubbing. You've been on my channel before, you know that I think this is like one of the biggest next steps for the creator economy and any creator, being able to translate your content to multiple different languages. Since Jimmy has already been doing it and they've been hiring like professional local, voice actors, they now offer these services to some of the other creators. Interesting to see how it's going to evolve with the evolution of AI right now. But definitely this is the service that they continue to provide behind the doors, specific to the creators. And he just recently mentioned the ad marketplace. So essentially the whole idea of the business for the ad marketplace is to have a place where he can help brands and creators connect. But for the brands perspective specifically, he wants them to find the right fit, right? Not just the creator who has the biggest numbers on their channel, but the creator who actually addresses similar kind of audience. That's my suspicion based on how he described it. Also based on the fact that I've been thinking about something like this for a little while. It kind of sucks because I've been doing a lot of research in that space recently, just kind of like trying to understand what CMOs are lacking and what kind of things they're missing when it comes to working with the creators. So I see you, MrBeast team. You guys are doing the right thing. This is a gap right now in the marketplace for the creators. And for the question of, okay, but why would he need an entire creator branch? I really think it comes down to the monetization of the cost centers. What I mean by this is that view stats were born out of the internal tools that MrBeast team was using to support the media branch, right? Dubbing services was a set of services that they've developed to help themselves kind of like dub their content into multiple different channels using professional voice actors. And I'm sure from the ad marketplace perspective, that's something they've been doing as well today. And they've been trying to find and kind of like educate the marketers, right? And they've been at various different marketing conferences, advertising and explaining, okay, here's how you need to think about how to effectively and successfully work with a creator. So I'm not surprised at all that they're essentially taking all of their internal tools and slowly converting them to something that can generate the revenue so it can cover costs, but also can continue to develop. And the benefit is kind of like twofold. You continue to develop the tools that you're using every day, which makes hopefully your operations a lot more effective. But also they start making money, which they cannot say no to, considering the fact that they need the money to continue to grow and develop this media branch. Then coming into the next section, consumer, and I actually realized, I was like, hey, I can just zoom in, make it a little bit easier for you guys to read. From the consumer perspective, that's where up until, maybe 3-4 years ago, almost was non-existent, right? It was primarily MrBeast channels advertising other brands, other products. But today they have obviously Feastables, which is like a mastodon of their entire infrastructure. I think I saw reported numbers of annual revenue somewhere between like $300 and $400 million. MrBeast Labs is essentially their partnership with a few other brands from the toy perspective, but primarily kind of like developing a set of toys. And I think Moose is the name of the company, or Moose Labs, maybe. Again, we'll check out the. We might as well check out the page. Yeah, Moose, just Moose. Okay. So this is kind of like the set of tools that they're and toys that they're using. They're both collectibles, but also there's some additional kind of just like action figures, things of that nature in general, that allows them to go and continue to, expand and monetize the audience that they develop over here through the media channel, right? And then obviously they've been talking about expanding from Feastables. There've been a lot of conversations about going more, savory when it comes to the kind of snacks they do, because they primarily do the sweets under the Feastables. They've been talking about making jerky, beef jerky of some sorts, but they ended up essentially co-branding it with Lynx, which is like one of the massive brands in that niche of consumer packaged goods. So they essentially now co-brand with them. They have Lunchly that they co-branded with Prime to, some controversial success, infamy. So from that perspective, they have a lot of different opportunities, right, to do here. And primary tie-in is, of course, ability to monetize the video, right? Something Jimmy started to speak about maybe a couple of years ago is that he's running out of sponsors who can afford to advertise on his videos. His videos on average right now, right, crack 100 million views without any problems. But trying to find a sponsor that would be willing to spend to justify the videos that they're making was nearly impossible, or getting nearly impossible. And so a lot of these products are essentially the primary advertising spots in his videos, and also, by the way, in Beast games as well, which enables him to continue to use these tools to generate revenue, to feed back to the media, and use that media to promote these consumer goods. So there's massive overlap and potential between combining these two, and this is where, yet again, you have the dependency on the media to grow, what I've mentioned earlier in the video. And finally, and this is something relatively new, actually not even available yet, but something they're already openly talking about, are the services. So Beast Mobile, something Jimmy already confirmed that they're about to launch, and Beast Financial. And we can quickly jump to the article itself from Business Insider. So they essentially already called out that Beast Mobile is coming, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if that's something they're going to announce in one of the last videos of this year, or maybe they'll announce it during the Amazon Prime second season, right, of MrBeast games. The whole idea is to go into what they call kind of like this mobile virtual network operator space. So they're not necessarily going to be out there building towers, purchasing spectrum, right, or developing kind of like the infrastructure to create their own mobile network. They will just piggyback on the existing mobile network. And this is something that Mint Mobile did. And you probably have seen, at least here in the United States, a ton of different ads. Ryan Reynolds was one of the major investors who essentially created this brand, marketed the crap out of it, leveraged the technology from the T-Mobile network to essentially provide this service, and eventually ended up selling it for $1.3 billion. And I think this is one of those angles that they're realizing that they can explore, because yes, Ryan Reynolds is relatively popular, right? Net of some of the controversies, but they really managed to do a great job with advertising this brand and growing it. The thing is, if we come back to MrBeast, his current subscriber count is 453, right, as of recording of this video. And as you can imagine, if you go back again and tie it all to the media distribution side of things, they can tap into what likely is several billion people watching his content every month on average, especially if they'll be able to go outside of just the United States and provide some additional services in other regions. This brand can grow like crazy, right? And again, a lot of ifs and buts, and let's see what they're going to announce and how they're going to structure it. But in the US alone, they can, I think, acquire quite a bit of market, but also I think there's a lot of opportunities internationally. And it again ties to some things like dubbing, because it enables you to expand your international network, right? And finally, there's Beast Financials that, again, a lot less details on right now, but very likely going to be some form of virtual bank. And that'll be my guess, some virtual bank, maybe some versions of also virtual credit cards, things of that nature. The tie-in, again, besides the fact that, again, you have a lot of people here in this quadrant kind of like, constantly watching videos and potentially becoming buyers, you can tie it with the consumer branch as well and the services branch. Maybe you get some special benefits if you are, subscribing to the Beast Mobile and you're paying every month using a Beast Financial credit card, right? You get some extra credits that you can then go and spend in the store to buy more Feastables and Beast Labs. And if you buy those, you generate the points and it comes back to your Beast Financials, right? So you can very much tie those things together. But also, and we've seen it with companies like TohirT that does like credit card and banking for the creators. I would not be surprised at all. And actually, if I would be them, I would be kind of like looking over my shoulder right now. From here to here, there's a lot of connections. Helping with the financial, helping with the investments. Spotter kind of like getting a little bit distracted, right, with the software solution. And if you're curious, scroll down a little bit on my channel, you find my video talking about them shutting down the Spotter studio. Spotter kind of companies are out there, few and far in between. So there's an opportunity for the Beast Financial also not only play within the consumer space, but actually play within the creator space and become like a credit card for the creators, bank accounts for the creators, right? I'm sure this is the kind of conversation that they're having right now to try to decide like, hey, can we tap into both of these areas? And again, if they tap into both of these areas, they start generating recurring revenue, ARR, so annual recurring revenue, which is very powerful from the perspective of building predictable businesses, right? Now you're in the big leagues, so to speak, with these kind of revenues already on the consumer side. But if you can also match the consumer side with your services, this becomes a very powerful vehicle that generates consistently cash, that enables them to continue to invest in media, continue to invest in tools, which makes their content better, more eyeballs, more people buying consumer, more people buying services. So there's so much power in this network. And as much as it may seem like, oh, they just picking random brands and slapping them together, there's actually, as you can tell, a lot of interconnectivity, a lot of this buzzword from early 2000s synergies, right, when it comes to the business that they're building right now on the base of this entire infrastructure that I just showed. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's exciting to see. I'm also curious, again, with like Beast Financials, what kind of services will they provide, and will they try to tap into the creators right away, or it's going to be kind of like a 1-2 punch combo, with the first punch coming maybe early next year with just focusing on the consumer because they're going to have an announcement of the Beast Mobile? Or do you kind of like, just focus on the consumer for now, don't even worry about the creator side of things, just continue to supply the tools, because it's financing creators is a little bit of a different world. But this is why, and you can check out some of my shorts, MrBeast organization has also been hiring pretty mature, experienced executives with like decades in certain industries, whether it's a CPG to manage Feastables and labs, whether it's in the media to manage the studios, right? There's a lot of opportunities right now for them to go and expand. And we didn't even touch on some of the other expansions like animations, and they're trying to do some things there. They're talking about maybe doing some other beverages and food products, right? There's a lot of interesting ways by which they can continue to expand this. These are the ones that have been confirmed or soft confirmed. So that's why I just put stuff on the list that I feel like it's really impactful and kind of like unique enough. But we'll be on the lookout, and I wouldn't be surprised if like 6 months from now I have to update this chart, because there's going to be a lot more business units added to this big, massive MrBeast conglomerate. So that was interesting to me. I hope you found it interesting. I hope it made a little bit now more sense why you have all these desperate brands going live with the MrBeast logo on them. Let me know in the comment section below if I missed any businesses, if you have different thoughts on how they can potentially play with each other in terms of augmenting impact that they drive in the world. And I'll see you next Saturday. Peace.